Hey guys, Scarlett here, plant-based vegan, trying to live my best life, and I want to help you to live yours. And I know it's been a while. I have not done a video in a really long time. Just got really busy with Wonder Curl, got some awesome things happening. And I've been doing a lot more content for the Wonder Curl YouTube channel. So if you haven't had a chance to check out my business, please do so. It's wondercurl.com, or you can go to wondercurl.com for YouTube, and I'll make sure I list it all down below. And of course, with the pandemic and stress and everything is just going nuts. So, but this is a video that I have been wanting to do for a really long time. It's something that I've talked about on my Instagram page, and that was acne. Yes. So I last about 3-4 years started suffering from cystic acne, and this was brand new to me. Growing up, I had pretty decent skin. I didn't have bad acne. I would get, of course, the occasional breakouts. I would get like that one zit on your forehead, but overall I had pretty basic average skin. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't bad. It was just like it was just skin. And then in my 30s, as I started to change my diet, then my skin became what I thought was perfect. Then when I turned around 40, 41, I got off of birth control. So I had been on birth control for about maybe 10 years taking it, and I took it mostly because I had pretty bad periods. I would get very painful periods, long periods. It was heavy flow. I would get severely depressed, and I never went to a doctor. I didn't get anything checked out, but I was, my mom had the same issues when she was getting periods when she was younger, and I thought, it's probably just something that I would have to deal with because it's genetic. And once I became a plant-based vegan and I completely changed my diet, I also decided that I no longer wanted to take the hormones for my body, and I got off of it. So now I'm like eating the healthiest I had ever been, and suddenly my skin started breaking out. And the other issue that I got once I got older is I would get hyperpigmentation. And this was also something brand new that I never dealt with before, and it freaked me out because every time I would get a pimple, you can see it would leave a little mark behind every single time. So I made it my mission to just avoid getting pimples and acne, anything that would cause my skin to scar. But that's pretty hard to do when you are starting to get cystic acne, your skin is erupting. And it took me about 2 years to figure out that it was getting off of birth control, which is what caused my cystic acne. So what I learned through online research, I didn't go to a doctor, was that with birth control, one, it makes it harder for your body to absorb zinc and magnesium. So unwittingly, I became zinc and magnesium deficient. And I learned this from going to my doctor and getting blood work done. So I highly recommend that you definitely go to your primary care physician, get blood work done, and find out what it is that you are deficient in. Don't just start running to the store and buying pills because you hear me talking about it. These were things that my doctor just through blood work found that I was deficient in. Also, I was deficient in vitamin D and B12, which honestly, these are things that a lot of us are deficient in that I learned. So once I started taking these vitamins again, I started to notice my skin was starting to look a little bit better. But so let me back up. Once I got off of birth control, it started to take a little bit of time for my skin to start to show and break out into cystic acne. And if you're not familiar with cystic acne, it's those really hard, painful, it starts like under the skin. It doesn't actually ever erupt. It's not like you're gonna get it's not like a whitehead or a blackhead where you can pop it and then the zits start to slow down or go away. With cystic acne, it pretty much lasts what feels like forever. It can stay on your face and it's hard, and there's no like real pus inside of it. I don't know what's going on inside. I haven't researched it that fully. If you know what it is, please let me know. But they do tend to be painful. They last a lot longer. And for me, they happen along my cheek, jawline, and I had a couple here. Rarely was it on my forehead. It was usually in this area right along. You can see it mostly here. And then eventually I started breaking out all along my chest. And I was really depressed over this. And it took me having a conversation with a girlfriend. Like, we were just casually walking down the street, talking about getting off the pill. And she was saying every time she got off the pill that her skin would start breaking out. And I was like, holy moly, this is probably what's happening with me. And because that was the only thing that really changed in my life. And as I started to do more research, I found that a lot more women were having the same problems with their skin, that once they got off of birth control, their skin started breaking out and they were getting terrible, terrible cystic acne. So now I figured out, okay, it's the birth control, getting off of it. What happens is that now your hormones are going into overdrive. They're all over the place. And it's just like ping, 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 ping. Yeah. That's exactly what happens. That's like a scientific term, ping, 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 ping. So once I figured that part out, and then I learned about being deficient in zinc, magnesium, vitamin D, and B12, my doctor prescribed a very strong vitamin D for me. And what I found with vitamin D is that it does help with your skin. Once I started taking the vitamin D supplements, my skin was no longer dry. I had really, really dry skin. And so once I started taking that, my skin started to feel like it wasn't as dry as it used to be. And then the other thing I started paying attention to were the foods that I ate. And I learned that chocolate, as much as I love chocolate, caused acne, and it really did. And it's really hard, especially around Christmas time when there's like all the chocolates everywhere and I want to eat all the chocolate. Sometimes I do, and that's why I have these things right here. Was from eating chocolate, chocolate brownies to be exact. Vegan, gluten-free, vegan, lavender flavored brownies. So good. So good. I'm going to say that it was worth it. So when you find that you have cystic acne, most likely it's a hormonal issue, and it's probably something happening from the inside. So you should definitely go see a dermatologist or a primary care physician, just to get the blood work done and start finding out what it is that you're deficient in. It could also be the foods that you're eating, and certain triggers for a lot of us can cause cystic acne, and that's dairy is a huge issue. Dairy, gluten can be another big issue, and of course my beloved chocolate. And it could also be different for you. So what I started doing is just paying attention to my body, watching what I ate, and then looking at my skin to see how my skin is changing from the foods that I'm eating. So you really want to go into kind of like your Sherlock Holmes. You want to go into detective mode and really start scrutinizing everything. And if you need to, keep a food diary and pay attention to your skin. Once I've got all of that down, I was no longer getting more cystic acne. And which is makes me happy because now we're getting rid of it. But also trying to figure out what skin products I should be using. And the funny thing is that what I've noticed now also in my 40s is that my skin has become very sensitive to certain products. Like I can't use serums. I can't use just any kind of moisturizers because the breakouts that I would get from that were quite different from different kinds. And I could just see just sort of like bumps along my skin, just bumps everywhere. So I'm going to show you the three simple products that I use on my skin on a daily, twice a day basis. And you're gonna be like, no way. Like, yeah, way. All right. And also the tool that I just started using when I wash my face, and I'm so excited. All right. First one is my face wash. Guys, don't get mad at me. It's not all natural. And I hate that it's not all natural because it does have like red dye number 40 in it. But this is what I found that works for me, and it is this oil-free acne wash. It's got 2% salicylic acid in it, and I found this at Dollar Tree. The ones that I would buy back in the day, you know, in the drugstores that cost way more were very drying on the skin. This one is way more liquidy, so it's more diluted, and I find that this does not dry out my skin, and it was only $1. I hate that it's got a lot of synthetic ingredients in it, but you know what? It works, and because everything else within my diet and my lifestyle is more prone to being more on the natural organic side, I figure I could probably withstand this. And it works. Dollar Tree, crazy. The other thing is when I am moisturizing my face, I can't use a lot of products, and I've tried. What I would do is put different products on my face and look at what happened the next day, and I would break out. I would stop using those products and my skin would get clear again. And it's kind of hard because, oh my God, my skin is always so dry. But if I try to add different kinds of products that would make my skin hydrated, but my skin would break out, it's like, oh, it's crazy. So this is just a regular old bottle. And this actually has argan oil. So oils that I found that worked for me are argan oil, very light oils, grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil is great because one, it is cheap. Argan oil is not cheap. So if you're on a budget, grapeseed oil is excellent, and it's very, very inexpensive. Argan oil is also a nice oil, and that's what this has in it. It's just a blend of argan oil with some rose oil because I love the way rose smell. And this is what I use. So I will wash my face with this every morning, every night, and then I follow up right away while my skin is still hydrated from the water. I put probably about a dime size of this on my face just to make sure. You can see my skin is still pretty dewy and shiny because of this. But this is what's been working for me. And when I wash my face, I use this guy. Oh, there's my camera. This little guy right here. I love this. I just ordered this off of Amazon. I can use this for hours. It just feels so soft on the skin. It vibrates. Hold on. There. You can hear that. It vibrates. What I like about it is that it also gives you, this is red. You can't tell. It also goes to blue. And then this is green. And it's the light therapy. The different lights are supposed to, like red is supposed to help with fine lines and collagen production. The blue light that it goes to after the red helps with killing bacteria, and green is supposed to the more soothing, I think. How effective these lights are, I don't know, because the lights aren't very bright, but I like that if you are someone who can use serums, this part gets warm and you can help it to absorb, your skin to absorb those serums, which is something that I've done, and I do like this. It doesn't come in any kind of dock, so I use this thing, which I bought from Target, and it just sits right like that. And then what I've been using for my dark spots is this Vico turmeric skin cream. I find this in my local Indian market. I love this stuff. It does not stain the way turmeric would, and this stuff works on like everything. I put it on any bumps, pimples. I use it definitely on my dark spots, and I have noticed that the next day my spots are considerably lighter. So I'm gonna show you some close-ups. And I have a little pimple here, but overall I'm like really happy with the way my skin is looking. And it's about finding a routine that works, being vigilant with your skin and your diet. It's definitely going to be more diet related, but then also starting to understand the different kinds of breakouts that you get, because they all have different meanings. Like for me, the cystic acne would come from the foods that I ate, and also if I wasn't being diligent with my supplements. And the other pimples that I would get, if I get certain different kind of breakouts where it just looked like my skin was getting bumpy, that was usually my products that were clogging my pores. And so yeah, just wanted to share this video with you guys. I know it's been a long time since I've done a video, and this was a long one because, you know, guys, I just like to talk, and I hope that this helps you with your journey. And have an awesome day.